Welcome everyone, I am the Wolf Cook and welcome to the Wolf Kitchen. Today's video is brought to you by Wolfcook merchandise. We have the Wolfcook apron, one that I'm wearing right now, and the Wolfcook baseball cap. To purchase one of these items, click on the link below in the description. Today, we are making stuffed lobster tails over lime cilantro rice. That's going to be so good and so delicious. You're going to be saying, that's good. Now, I'm hearing that might be some of you folks out there that thinks a lobster is nothing more than a big old crawfish. I'm here to tell you, don't do that. Please do not think you can substitute a lobster tail with a crawfish. First, a crawfish is way too small. And secondly, I don't want you messing up my dish. So, for those of you who are new to my channel, or you have not yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell and let's get started. Next, we're going to start with our ingredients. For the cilantro lime rice, we have our cooked rice, fresh cilantro. I just got finished chopping these. A quarter stick of butter, 1 lime. Now, to make our lemon butter cream sauce, we're going to start with 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, quarter stick of butter, and 2 slices of lemon. For our stuffed lobsters, we have 4 6-ounce lobster tails. For seasoning the lobster tails, black pepper, sea salt, a quarter stick of butter, panko breadcrumbs, shredded parmesan cheese, and last, the baked potato. I'm going to use the baked potato as a binder, and I bake this for 1 hour at 400 degrees. And now it's time to prepare the lobster tails. The next step, we're going to prepare our lobster tail. We're going to start by cutting out the underneath portion of the lobster tail. I'm going to use some scissors, and I'm going to cut as close to the sides as possible. I'm going to start my way by cutting from the top of the tail all the way to the bottom. After I finish making the first cut, I'm going to start on the second cut. Now that I've finished my second cut, I'm just going to pull the cut piece all the way to the bottom of the tail. And I'm going to cut the entire piece off. Now I'm going to use my finger and remove the entire lobster meat from the shell. Now this is how it's supposed to look after it's removed. Now I'm going to take the lobster meat. I'm going to cut a slit down the middle, and then I'm going to devein or remove the digestive tract. I'm going to look for the vein or digestive tract and remove if there's any. And now I'm going to repeat this process to the other 3 lobster tails. We have removed all 4 lobster meat from the shell. We cleaned and deveined. I have also washed out the inside of the shells. I have also washed the lobster meat and pat dried. And now that I've finished preparing the lobster tails, it is time to work on the cilantro rice and the lemon butter cream sauce. For our lemon butter cream sauce, first we're going to add the butter. We're going to let that melt some. And once the butter has melted down some, we're going to add the heavy whipping cream. Then we're just going to stir that up some. Now I'm going to squeeze a slice of lemon. Now I'm going to stir the lemon, the butter, and the heavy whipping cream all together. Now it's time to cook the cilantro lime rice. Now we're just going to let this simmer. Now to our heated pan, we're going to add butter. Once the butter has melted, we're going to add the rice. Then we're going to stir the butter and the rice together. Next, I'm going to squeeze 2 slices of lime. Then I'm going to stir that in. Now I'm going to add some salt. Now the pepper. And now I'm going to stir it all together. Now I'm going to add the cilantro flakes. Now I'm going to stir it in. Now we're going to turn this on low heat. And now it's time to cook the lobster tails. Into a heated pan, I'm going to melt some butter. Once the butter is almost melted, we're going to add 3/4 cup of water. Now we're going to bring that to a boil. Now that our butter and water is boiling, we're going to first start off by adding our lobster shells. Next, we're going to add the lobster tails. Then I'm going to add some salt. Now pepper. Now we're going to add the lid and let it cook on side 1 for 1 minute. It's coming up on 1 minute later, and now it's time to check the lobster tails. The lobster tails are looking good. You see how it's starting to change color. And it is time to turn the lobster tails over to the other side. Now that the lobster tail has been flipped, we're going to add salt. Now the pepper. And we're going to put the lid back on and cook for additional 45 seconds to 1 minute. It's been 45 seconds later, and now we're going to check the lobster tails. It smells good. Now it's ready to come out. Now we're going to let these cool down, and we're going to work on the baked potato. Now I'm going to turn this baked potato into mashed potato. We're going to start by slicing the potato in half. Then we're going to take the skin off both sides. Now we're going to keep mashing this baked potato until it turns into mashed potatoes. During this process, you can add butter or milk until you get it to the right texture you're looking for. Now this is the texture I'm looking for, so I can add it to my stuffing. Now it's time for the stuffing. First, we're going to cut the lobster tails into chunks. We're going to cut each lobster tail. Now we're going to add the lobster chunks to a mixing bowl. Now I'm going to add 2 large spoons of the lemon butter cream sauce. Next, I'm going to add the mashed potato. I'm going to add about 2 spoonfuls. Now I'm going to mix these together. Now I'm going to add some cilantro flakes. Then I'm going to stir that in. Next, I'm going to add in the shredded Parmesan cheese. Then I'm going to mix this all together. And this is the time you can add some more ingredients. Now it's time to stuff our lobster shells. Now that we have our 4 lobster shells laid out, we're going to start stuffing them. And we're going to do the same process to all 4 shells. Now, once all 4 shells are stuffed, we're going to add the panko breadcrumbs. We're going to add some to all 4 tails. Now we're going to add some more shredded Parmesan cheese. Now it's time for the broiler. We're going to broil on high for 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes later, and now it's time to take the lobster tails out of the broiler. Look at that. Look at that. It does look good. It did come out perfect. And now it's time to plate. We're going to start by adding our cilantro lime rice. Next, we're going to add 2 stuffed lobster tails. Next, we're going to add a condiment bowl filled with lemon butter cream sauce. And we're going to finish plating by adding a slice of lemon. And I'm going to add just a few more cilantro flakes. There you go, everyone. Stuffed lobster tails with cilantro lime rice. Well, everyone, as you can see, the food looks delicious and it smells good too. Mrs. Wolf and I cannot wait to sink our teeth into these lobster tails, and I'm practically drooling. I made sure not to tell Mrs. Wolf ahead of time what I was cooking. You know those female wolves be gossiping and howling, and I did not have enough of these lobster tails to go around. Before I go, remember to click on the link in the description below to get a Wolfcook apron or a baseball cap. And make sure to hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification bell, the share button, leave a comment, and tell your family, your friends, co-workers, and even those neighbors to tune in to watch the Wolfcook cook a delicious meal. See you soon.